All right, I'm live. Today kind of snuck up. I slept in like crazy today, and then the day just kind of flew by. Anzer just sent me a reminder like a few minutes ago for the placeholder for the stream, and I just posted. I realized I didn't post it anywhere else. So I gotta post this somewhere else here. Copy that. Do just a couple of posts, Bluesky and Facebook maybe. And then I'll get to drawing. Oops, all caps, that's not good. Posted on Bluesky. Let's do this on Facebook, which is not on my phone anymore, which is really weird because every once in a while someone sends me something by a messenger, and I'm like, oh, I can't look at it on my phone. I have to do it on my desktop next. Okay, it's good to hear the audio is fine. All right, I figured 2 posts should be enough. I think the vast majority of people who catch the videos generally watch it later in the week anyway. All right, so what we can see here is my art supply shop still has not sent me the matte medium or the matte varnish I want for this Vader piece. It's thoroughly cured. Oh wow, that's a slow reacting camera. It's not nice. Wow, I'm not in love with the reaction speed on this camera. It's really slow. You can sort of see the colors. It's not as lightly pink as that. That's just the angle I got it at, but that's an angle that's hiding some of the glare. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I did call the art supply store above ground, and they said everything's gone out Friday, which is of course yesterday, which means I should be able. You can probably see a couple of the matte areas from like different types of paint going down. I want to unify everything, so that's got to be unified. All right, so if you remember from last week, I started penciling a Viking page, and all of a sudden I realized I was out of blue ink for my printer. So I got to that point of the layouts for a page. Now I'm not in love with this layout, but the very next day my ink arrived, so I figured I would pick up exactly where I'd pick up normally from this layout to this. So I'm going to make some changes to this. This is ostensibly be the pencils. I'm going to be flipping a whole bunch of things around. I got him entering from the middle of the page here, which is I don't know what I was thinking. He's going to be entering from this side. Going to be changing the rock flow going up over here. I want more an indicative drawing of his figure. I want a smaller figure here, more of a full figure here to see the level of injury in his legs. A little bit more space as he walks through this kind of wasteland we establish here. We see a shape. I'll probably make it a little more subtle there, or I might move it over there, and then see him reacting to something here. So it's a pretty simple page. This is in the 40s of the book, so it's pretty close. We're getting close to the end of the book, where all the Vikings have to start like fleeing and surviving. But there's some other page sequences here. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to be 4 or 5 page sequences or whatnot. So the pages will be shifting around until everything's locked in and the final sequences are all done. So looks like there's 4 people here, which I think includes Anzer and myself. So there's 2 other people here, which is pretty good. If you're just hanging out watching, feel free to say hi. So I want to enter here. So I'm just going to be. So what I'm doing is, again, the figure sliding down this little bit of a cliff here, trying to get his body properly established. So I haven't drawn the sequence where this guy gets injured yet. But I know gets injured in his leg. And so what I'm doing here is, if I establish it properly, I can be, when the sequence comes for me to draw it, I can actually draw it like subtly in the background, and the reader will probably get it. So I can draw like a little bit of a leg injury, and then the reader will see the leg injury, and everything will be good. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm. A lot of times, what I'll do is, like, when I do the initial notes for a page like this, is I literally just think about the informational beats. There's only 4 beats on this page. It's coming down to this weird kind of rocky valley. Establish he's really messed up. Show him moving through the valley, establish a threat, and then him reacting to a threat. So then that means the next sequence. And I might actually decide to do this sequence over the next couple of weeks. I can actually draw a whole sequence from inside the book for you guys. But a lot of times I'll just hit the informational beats. And then after I have the informational beats there, I'll go, okay, well, how do I really want to get that information across? So having this guy climb down from this cliff here. Gives me a lot of interesting things to draw. When do I decide on when I flip things around? Basically, there's a lot of basic rules of thumb that come fully equipped in the comics once you actually get the foundations. Like, everything moves left to right if you're Western comics, as opposed to, Pacific Rim comics where everything moves left to right, or sorry, right to left. So I want to lean into the left to right informational element. So I got him coming down here. I got rocks falling down. You can have rocks landing on here. Then I'm gonna have this path being up through here. I want to get the implication that there's a lot of space that he's going to be moving through. So the decisions to move things around, generally they come around from a point of like, okay, well this moves left or right, but I know I'm moving into the center of this panel here. But if I'm moving from here, then visually I'm moving to this panel. Um, and that makes it a lot easier on the reader to immediately go from here to there. So I'm just doing very, I can't even say subtle things because they're kind of really painfully obvious. Um, as you move the camera around and get people's eyes to do things that they're trained to do. Um, so I have a whole bunch of like lines moving across. Pretty much all the lines are like leaning in towards here. Um, I'm probably not going to use this figure the way it's suggested, where he's like leaning in. We're getting an emotional experience because we got this close up here, so I don't need to do a close up there. I want to show how damaged his leg is, so I'm going to do probably either full figure or 3/4 figure, but closer in on this, and we're going to see the damage on this leg here. So once I do that, once I establish that, and I have him limping here, I don't. The reader's going to immediately see that damage in his leg and understand it's visually happening here. And then I can do these rocks, follow the shadows through here, and then have it's kind of like a gorilla type thing. I haven't really designed this monster yet. Right now, it's just a shape. Kind of like the idea of like gorilla shaped demons. It was a project I was going to do a few years ago, and a bunch of the demons are going to be like gorilla shaped. Still look demonic, but they're going to look gorilla shaped, and I thought that was kind of cool. And everything ties up nicely with the little silhouette you can see at the bottom. Wow, this page is moving really slow. Yeah. Yeah, I prefer to go through a bunch of stages where it's like I just hit the story beats, and I try and be visual. Um, and when I'm writing myself, it's a lot more by the seat of my pants, where it's like I can change things, add as much or remove as much as I want. When I'm working with like Mark, for example, here's the first page of um, Toxic Avenger, Jesus Christ, from the upcoming book we're doing with Ahoy. Get this in there. So uh, Mark writes his scripts and he writes the funny. He brings the funny. I see my job, and I said this before. I see my job as to make sure that his jokes come across as clearly as possible. So in this very first page, we're at night court, and Tromaville, where Toxie lives. And of course, Jesus is running into trouble with the law, so of course he gets questioned by the judge. So instead of like having the court and then Jesus on the same page, I have Jesus on the second page, just so because it's a Jesus H Christ joke, and it works better if the punchlines on the second page. So that's the type of stuff I do. I think about literally the informational stuff I have to get across to the reader, and once I know all the bits of information that need to get across to the reader, then I can start designing them in a more narratively efficient way. So like I in this panel I know, so all the beats here. In this panel, I know he's entering this ruins, this hellish landscape that they're in because they're essentially in hell. Establishing he's injured, he's moving across this ruin of a wasteland, and he's being stalked by a monster, and he's reacting to a sound from the monster. So all the beats are there, but as you notice, right off the bat, that first panel is very, very, very different. I've got much more environment happening here. I'm going to be very much changing what's happening here. I'm about 50 pages into Dances at the End of Time. It just arrived this week. I'm really, really excited. Mukark is so easy to get into. So I should add that before I respond to all the old warriors getting injured in the knees. That's just to get all those dueling scars. Now, Vikings didn't use a lot of spears, but this guy's using a spear. And it's basically because that's all he's got left right now. I want that shoulder coming in through there more. Yeah, I've already encountered a few things where it's like, oh God, I forgot. It's like it's one of those out there Moorcock books, like the ones that really this has really influenced Grant Morrison even more than Alan Moore. It's one of the really weird ones. All right. So now you see exactly how that page is coming together a bit more. Let's put this up a little higher. So we get small figure going to a mid-sized figure, get the established injury in his leg. So now let's go down to use some. I stocked up big time on painter tape. I got this at a Dollarama. This was like right next to a restaurant I was at with my son the other day. But immediately ran into a Dollarama first opportunity I could, and got like 5 rolls. I go through this stuff so quickly. All right. You know what? Actually, I'm going to use that. This one's big chunky 4Bs I bought. Here we go. Look at that. Bought this big chunky 4B. It's great for like just filling in dark areas. See that line weight happening in there. Yeah, I think that works. Got the creature implied here. Guys come over here, and then we just immediately bottom corner here. Lots of rocks. See if I can channel some George Perez and draw lots of rubble. God, I like these big chunky pencils. I really got to get back to doing those pencil sketches every day. Those are so much fun. My health went down to the toilet so bad. I'm getting better. I am getting better. I just had another doctor's appointment this week, and most of the stuff that went south on me is already mostly recovered. But there's, geez, so much stuff, man. Don't get old, man. Just don't. I don't recommend it. Yeah, I'm drawing the head a lot bigger, guys. But I want to focus on those eyes, so I'm drawing them so much bigger than the head. I also, among the things I have to set up for, I also have another Hero Initiative. Comic Art Fans auction coming up this spring. So not only do I got We Bring Only Death that I'm working on right now, and Jesus Christ and Toxic Avenger, which I think I kind of talked into existence almost a little bit because Leonard had that stroke. So I kind of volunteered to do something to buy Leonard time. Although I think this was going to happen anyway. I think actually there's a very good chance that Leonard might have been the one supposed to draw the Toxic Jesus Christ thing, which I would have been okay with. But I'm okay buying Leonard some time because he's got to get over that stroke. Every once in a while, I kind of bollocks up the eye a bit, which I just did. If I just drew it the way I originally drew it, it would have been fine. I decided to change it on the fly. It happens. Let me get the eyes first here. There we go, much better. not liking that face at all. You know, it's too pat. That's just it. It's like it's too obvious he's looking over his shoulder. So I think I'm running into my own interference here, where it's like I give myself the most boring shot to draw, and it carries emotion. So I just wanted to run with it, but I got to do something better than that one panel. Got to feel better. I still want to move to this page. I know what I'll do. See what I'm doing here? Yeah. So what I'm doing here is I'm flipping from the looking over his right shoulder at his face as he's looking behind. So we established it here. So the lazy part for me here is we know the monster's here, we know he's here. So by closing in here, we know he's looking over here, which is a cheat. It works. It gets the information across. That's perfectly okay. But it basically bottled up the page. It didn't pull the page to the next page. It didn't pull the page to want the reader to turn. So that's why I'm doing this version where it's like we know the sound's coming from his left-hand side. So if he's looking to his left as he's walking towards the camera now, because we know where he is in terms of the relationship with the camera, we actually have a better sense of like what the monster movement is. All right. So we got a page of pencils here. Looking at it, I'm not seeing anything I want to change right off the bat. I could theoretically do all this little part back here, all this stuff down here, which is going to be black, as rocks. Like draw all these rocks coming down here. Fills up the page, but there's going to be a lot of rocks up there going across. So I think this is the page. Let me just thicken up some of the lines here. So I did not anticipate finishing the whole page of pencils today. But again, 4-panel page, I should have thought of it. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to darken the panel border outlines, scan this, print it onto Eon Artboard, and start inking it for you guys. And I think I'll actually work on inking this next week too, so it gives you guys a whole page to look at. Then I think I have to start doing the comic art fans auction stuff. I did one last, I want to say August. I want to say July or August last year, and it went really, really well. It was surprisingly mostly DC stuff. I think that's where that Galactus I did, and that Joker and the Batman, which are apparently still on my site. I got to double check on them. But a bunch of them went. So I found out since. Yeah, the creature is going to have more of a girliship, but I haven't gotten to the design stuff. So he's just going to be kind of vague until I just, if I decide to draw the next sequence, next page, 2-3 pages for you guys, you're going to see the creature design. And I'll probably spend part of the session just designing the creature. Oh, you can't see that. That's the toxic cover in process. Let me quickly scan this. Actually, no, I'm going to take the headphones off for a second. So this is going to be kind of a boring bit because I'm away from my drawing table as I go over to Photoshop to quickly scan and then print the pages. Sorry, so scan at 600 DPI in full color. Get the artboard ready. Scanning at 600 DPI takes a while. It slows down a lot of the initial processes for all this, but it means I actually get the highest fidelity scan. So when I start clearing out noise and bits of blue or whatnot, I got the most stuff to clean up, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to have more stuff to clean up than lose a lot of stuff and suddenly lose, pencil marks I want to keep. All right. Okay, so that scans. Let me crop it right down to the bare minimum. Sure, this is so exciting. You guys listening to me narrate my scanning. See, this is also why I still have to get off my ass and figure out how to get guests on board. So I can actually have someone else drawing while I'm doing this. All right. Let me adjustments, curves. I use curves to adjust the light dark values initially. I find I get a lot more control over the lighter and darker ends of the spectrum this way. We're going to unsharp mask right after I do the initial gray values. Then I go over to image mode and I go into adjustments. I go to black and white and I get rid of all the blue, green, and some yellow. So there's like no other noise in the pencils. It's just pencils. Then I go to hue saturation and I put a default, I load a preset blue line page, which does everything for me. And then I can just hit print. Let's do 0.8. Perfect. Let's do 0.75. Yeah, that looks better. All right. Okay, so now I'm printing. Sometimes my printer takes a few minutes to wake up. Sometimes my printer takes a few minutes to wake up. Why is my printer not waking up? Okay, let me try queuing up the printing. Oh, it's just not ready. Okay. Print. Why is it not ready? Details. What do you mean I'm not connected? I'm sorry, this is weird. It should be printing. I have no idea why it's not printing. What the hell's going on? I have ink. Print. Okay, it's supposed to be printing. No, hang on. Paper tray. Cardstock. High quality. All right, let's see if that fixes this. Print. What the hell? Sorry, people. This is like 2 weeks in a row where my printer's just like not doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to restart it and see if that does it. I really want to be inking for you guys tonight. I figured I'd go at least another 40 minutes. Hey, Angela, I'm trying to print the pencils I worked on tonight. And for some reason I scanned them and my printer is just saying, no, I'm not going to print. Turn it. There we go. I didn't disconnect anything. I don't know why my printer is. In fact, the only thing I did with my printer in the last little bit was actually load in a blue ink cartridge because it wasn't printing last week. Okay, what's this? Yes, okay. Okay, now it's telling me it is, okay. Doing a connection checker. So maybe something happened when I wasn't paying attention. So exciting. If I can't get this working in 7 minutes, I think I'll just, say that's tonight's stream and then I'll jump back on and ink this next week. But I have no idea why the printer just decided now, again, to choke up. It's taking 5% on its diagnostic right now. What if I just turn the computer off and started it again? Okay, so and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to completely shut down. It's not letting me cancel diagnostic on the printer. What the hell? I'm just going to restart the whole computer. That's got to be faster than dealing with the printer on its own. God, I love tech issues. Let's just hope that this doesn't suddenly decide to take forever to get done. Oh, we're almost. It's the last week of February. So I will be opening the 2 slots for the $35 a month for an annual 11x17 commission on, I guess, on Saturday next week. Only one of them is spoken for, but that means there's only going to be 2 opened up, and the second one will sit there until someone takes it or until I remove it at the end of the month, March, which I might do. It's on the Dell screen. My son hates Dells. I think this might be the last Dell I ever bought. I've been pretty happy with Dells for a better part of a decade, but I've noticed the quality drop over the last several years. My son's convinced he can make me a much better computer custom, so I'll let him because he knows his shit. I don't. Let's open up Photoshop again. I have no idea what the hell's printing right now. Oh! Oh, it's printing multiple sheets from the wrong cassette. Huh. Well, that explains why it jammed. Doesn't explain why it started loading different pages to the wrong print order. Huh. Well, I can throw this out. So this is what the pencils will look like, but on heavier paper. Why the hell is it printing out some notes? There we go, finally. What do I want to use to do borders? It's probably too thick. This looks pretty good. Yeah, it's finally going. You know, printer technology is amazing, but I think they're primarily focused on how to make as much money off it as possible. So it's not about doing, making sure they work well. It's basically how quickly can we start making more money off of these things. So how quickly can we break them down? I think it's the real problem with printers. I think we solved all the issues with printer technology like over a decade ago. Now it's like it's just how can we make sure that it dies so we can make the money? There we go. Boom. There we go. So I grabbed a nice little Sharpie bullet point marker, water-based. So let me outline all the panel borders. I usually use a narrower Posca, but it's not jumping out at me right now. Oh, here it is. There we go. This is actually a little bit better. It's not quite as wide as the Sharpie, so I got a slightly finer line out of it. So, anyone see any good movies? I haven't talked about movies. I was gonna see Captain America: New World Order. I I gotta say, the excitement to go see that movie kind of bled out of me um, in a flurry of nationalistic pride. I'm having a hard time, like, getting excited about anything American right now. You got the orange clown threatening to annex my country. I'm not exactly a big fan of things red, white, and blue. So, so yeah. So I still haven't seen the new Captain America movie. I don't know if I'll see it. I'm hearing mediocre things about it, but quite honestly, I think the bigger part of the problem is it's just not a good time to be American. It's the world's pretty much turning against America, and they're earning it, which is a scary, scary thing to say. I can start in the middle and work my way up. This line. Hope that was a little too much of a downer there. I heard good things about Night Bitch. Um, yeah, yeah, it's not sure why it apparently flopped. Um, I saw very little promo for it, but I mean, it's got Amy Adams in it, so she's good. All right, we have panel borders for days. Oof. Yeah. All right. So we got our Viking coming down to Scree. So it's coming across pretty good, I think. All right. I think this gives everyone an idea like what I'm going to be doing. Yeah. So I think next week I'm probably going to ink a little bit more on this. I gotta take a little bathroom break, so I figure I'll just wrap up now. Um, yeah, I think next week I will finish inking this page, and then I'll decide like based on like how much stuff I have to do left on Reburn Only Death, and how much stuff I have to do ahead of the comic art fans auction this summer. Um, I think that'll be fun. I'm probably going to do nothing but Marvel stuff for that, so that'll be fun. Thanks everyone for popping out. It's a little shorter than I was thinking. I was thinking of going to 8:30, but I'm starting to run out of gas. I did sleep really well last night, and I am getting a lot better. But you know what? Better safe than sorry. I like what I got happening here. I'm gonna fiddle with this a little bit more tonight, but I'm not gonna do much more. I think I just want to like do like the rocks coming down into this part here. Get the idea across these sliding down, and I'll leave the remaining three panels and most of this for next Sunday night. I think that'll be fun. I haven't done a full page of inks on the stream in a long time. I think I should be able to finish this stream, this page in one stream. All right, everybody. So thank you so much. Like I said, next week will be March. So on Saturday, which will be ahead of the stream, I'll be opening up the additional $35 annual commission slot for whoever wants it. Hopefully, in 2 weeks, I'll have finished Dance at the End of Time, so I'll be able to do Anzer's commission for that in 2 weeks. But I'll be doing this next week anyway. You can find me on Bluesky, Instagram for as long as I'm dealing with Meta. But Bluesky is going to be most of where you'll see most of my stuff in the future. There or YouTube. You guys have an amazing, amazing week. Actually, Sasquatch, if you guys actually want lessons, ask. Tell me what you guys want. And I can actually do a session where I'm just going full on educational. But anyway, you can ask that in the comments. That's it. Everyone have a great week, and I'll see you in 7 days. Night, everybody.